Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to being well-informed on the ideas that really matter. Today, we're jumping into a piece of career advice that's, well, it's everywhere, isn't it? This idea. Follow your passion.
Huh.
It sounds so good, inspiring even, like the guaranteed path to loving your work. But what if? What if that very advice maybe is actually leading us, down the wrong path, setting us up for frustration?
It's a really common mantra, almost a cultural default setting.
Exactly. So our main text for this deep dive is Cal Newport's book from 2012, So Good They Can't Ignore You, Why Skills Trump Passion in the Quest for Work You Love. And it's not just another career book. It really challenges that follow your passion idea head on.
It offers a pretty different perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
What Newport argues is a more effective route to actual career satisfaction.
Right. So our mission today for you listening is to explore this other idea. Maybe passion isn't something you just find. Maybe it's something you actually build through the work itself.
And this concept he has, career capital, is key to that. We'll definitely dig into that.
Let's make it real. Imagine our listener, let's call them Alex. Alex feels stuck, maybe mid-level marketing, been job hopping, searching for that thing, that passion, hoping the next job is it. As we go through this, maybe think about your own path. Does any of this resonate with you or with Alex's situation? Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's unpack this first big idea, because Newport really starts with a bang. Rule number one is literally, don't follow your passion.
Huh, yeah, straight out of the gate.
He argues this whole passion hypothesis, the idea that we've all got this one true passion just waiting and that should be our guide. He says it's flawed, fundamentally.
Which sounds almost like heresy,
You're right.
Given how much we hear it.
Completely. So how does he start picking that apart?
Well, what's fascinating here is how he looks at the evidence, not just the popular narrative. He points out people who end up loving their work, and they didn't start with some clear, burning passion for that specific thing.
Think about it. Seriously. How many top surgeons knew at age 5 they wanted to do, I don't know, complex cardiac procedures? Or elite coders born loving specific algorithms? It's usually not like that.
Right.
Instead, that feeling we call passion, it tends to show up later. After you've put in the work, gotten good at it, maybe you started making a real impact, trying to find it first before you built anything, that often leads to exactly what you described with Alex, job hopping. Feeling dissatisfied because you're chasing this elusive thing.
Yeah, that feeling of pressure. I definitely felt that early on. Like, what's wrong with me? Why haven't I found my passion yet? It's paralyzing.
It really can be.
And Newport nails it with this quote. He says, passion comes after you put in the hard work to become excellent at something valuable, not before. That just flips the whole script.
Exactly. It shifts from searching to building, from passive to active.
So for Alex, feeling that pressure, maybe the search itself is the problem, not the lack of finding something.
That's the core argument, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if following passion is out, what's the alternative? What do we do? And this, I think, is where it gets really interesting. Newport's rule, #2, be so good they can't ignore you. Sounds aspirational, maybe a bit daunting, but he presents it as a concrete strategy.
It is. It's a mindset shift, moving away from what can this job give me and focusing instead on what value can I bring.
Okay, tell us more.
So this rule is all about building what he calls career capital. Think of it like currency, but it's made of skills, specifically skills that are rare and valuable in your field.
Rare and valuable, both are important.
Both are crucial. They need to be in demand, hard for others to just pick up quickly. When you have those kinds of skills, that's your leverage. That capital is what lets you shape your work, negotiate for better conditions, choose projects that actually interest you.
So it's not about being okay at lots of things. It's about being genuinely excellent at something specific that matters.
Undeniably excellent, yeah. Maybe even indispensable. Imagine Alex, again, in marketing, following a vague passion for, say, pottery, starts from scratch, but becoming a true, deep expert in data-driven SEO within marketing. That's career capital.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But how do you actually build that capital? It's more than just, clocking in and doing the tasks, right? Alex is already doing their job.
Right. It's not just about putting in the hours. Newport really stresses the importance of deliberate practice.
Deliberate practice. Okay, what does that look like in reality?
Well, it's much more focused and, frankly, uncomfortable than just repetition. Think about a top musician or an athlete. They don't just play songs or run laps endlessly.
Yeah.
They isolate very specific weaknesses, a tricky passage, a particular tennis serve, maybe even how they handle pressure. And they hammer away at that specific thing, getting feedback, constantly
Mhm.
pushing just beyond their current ability.
So it's purposeful struggle almost.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Purposeful, targeted effort aimed at improvement, not just performance. For Alex in marketing, it might mean not just writing another blog post, but actively seeking harsh feedback on their persuasive writing, or diving deep into analytics to see why a campaign tanked, and then trying a new specific technique. It's uncomfortable work.
Intentional discomfort for growth. Got it. And the book's title, So Good They Can't Ignore You, that comes from this idea too. I heard it was from Steve Martin.
Yeah, that's the origin story. Steve Martin, when asked for advice by aspiring performers, apparently said something like, "Be so good they can't ignore you."
Huh.
And Newport grabbed onto that because it perfectly captures this craftsman mindset. Focus on the quality of your work, on becoming undeniably valuable. Then the opportunities, the recognition, the control, they tend to follow. You build a foundation that makes you sought after.
It's about creating value that others recognize.
And sometimes it's not just one skill. Newport also highlights how combining different rare skills can be incredibly powerful. Like maybe you're great at coding and you're an amazing communicator. That combination can be way more valuable than just being okay at both separately.
That's powerful because it puts the control back on you, the individual. Stop waiting for the perfect job. Start building the value that commands good opportunities. It makes me think, what are those rare and valuable skills in my own area? I hope you're thinking about that too, for your field. How could Alex combine, say, marketing know-how with maybe deep knowledge of a specific new tech platform?
That's the kind of thinking it encourages.
All right, so you've put in the deliberate practice, you've built this career capital, you're becoming indispensable. What now? Where do you go from there?
This leads to Newport's rule #3, and uh, this one made me blink. Turn down a promotion sometimes. That feels wrong, doesn't it?
Right.
We're conditioned to always climb the ladder.
It definitely goes against the grain, yeah. It sounds counterintuitive on the surface.
So why? Why turn down more money, a better title? Because, Newport argues, once you have that career capital, the goal shouldn't just be the next rung on the ladder. It should be using your leverage to gain control. Control over your work.
Control.
He sees control, autonomy over what you do, how you do it, maybe when and where as the real prize. The ultimate currency, he calls it, for genuine, deep career satisfaction. More so than just salary or status, once you're reasonably comfortable financially.
And that links back to basic psychology, right?
Right.
Feeling autonomous, competent.
Exactly. Those are fundamental human needs. Gaining control feeds those needs directly, which is why it often leads to more profound satisfaction than just a pay raise. It's about shaping your work life to fit you, not just fitting into a predefined box.
Okay, so turning down a promotion isn't about stagnation. It's about being strategic, protecting or gaining that control. Newport points out, and it's true, many companies talk about empowerment but actually resist giving real control. Flexibility, choosing projects, true creative freedom.
They often value predictability and hierarchy over individual autonomy.
Right, so Alex might get offered senior marketing manager, but if it comes with endless meetings, less hands-on work they enjoy, and zero flexibility, is that really winning?
That's the calculus Newport suggests. Is the promotion actually giving you more valuable capital or more control? Or is it trapping you, maybe in a role with more prestige but less satisfaction? The strategic lesson isn't always say no, but weigh the trade-offs carefully. Don't give up control just for the title if autonomy is what you value most.
But what about the practical side? I mean, people need to pay bills. Turning down more money isn't always an option.
Absolutely, and Newport acknowledges that. It's not a rigid rule for every single situation. Early career, maybe you need that promotion for the skills, the visibility, the financial step up. That's still building capital.
Okay.
But once you have capital, you have more options. You can negotiate. Maybe you don't turn down the promotion entirely, but you negotiate for specific kinds of control within that new role. More autonomy on certain projects, maybe a flexible schedule 1 day a week, use your leverage.
So it's about conscious negotiation, using your value to ask for what matters.
Precisely. It really pushes you, the listener, to think. When you look at jobs or even your current role, are you just seeing title and salary? Or are you really evaluating the level of control, the autonomy? Because Newport insists that's where long-term satisfaction often resides.
That's a critical lens to apply. Okay, so we have skills, we have control, but what about, the bigger picture, purpose, meaning, a mission? Does that fit in here? This brings us to rule #4. Think small, act big. Which sounds, well, maybe Less grand than finding a calling.
It is less grand, and intentionally so.
Mm.
Newport argues that this deep sense of mission, the purpose we crave, it usually doesn't come first. It tends to emerge later, after you've achieved mastery and gained some control in a field.
So it grows out of the work itself?
Yes, it's an outcome of doing excellent work, not something you need to identify perfectly before you start. He uses this idea called the adjacent possible.
Adjacent possible. What's that?
It basically means looking for opportunities for impact or innovation that are right next door to what you already know and do well, building on your existing expertise. So if you're an expert in supply chain logistics, the adjacent possible might be figuring out a more sustainable shipping method or applying AI to optimize routes. It's not suddenly deciding your mission is curing cancer unless you already have a foothold there.
It's about extending from where you are.
Exactly. Taking your current skills and asking, what's the next interesting problem I can tackle? What's a small step forward from here? It's incremental.
So thinking small, acting big isn't about small ambitions. It's about the process. Don't wait paralyzed for the one perfect mission to reveal itself. Instead, you make small bets. Test ideas within that adjacent possible. See what works, get feedback, iterate.
And then you act big on the things that show promise. You scale the successes. It's much more grounded, less overwhelming.
Like Alex, our marketer. Maybe after mastering data strategy, they notice a specific audience isn't being reached well. A small bet is trying a new content approach just for them, if it hits. Then they act big, maybe build a whole campaign around it. That could become their mission, born from expertise.
Precisely. It emerges organically. And this connects to another key insight Newport hammers home. Working right trumps finding the right work.
Say that again?
Working right trumps finding the right work. The emphasis should be on how you work, your dedication, your focus on quality, your commitment to growth, and the skills you build. That's more important, he argues, than obsessing over finding the perfect job title or industry right from the start.
That shifts the focus dramatically, from finding the thing to building the way you do things.
It moves you from being a passive consumer of jobs to an active creator of value and eventually meaning.
That really resonates. It makes you think, okay, what small experiments could I run right now in my current role? What little improvements or adjacent explorations could I try?
What small bets could Alex make today in marketing that might lead somewhere interesting?
Yeah. It's about starting, not waiting. Progress over perfection. So, wrapping this all together, what's the big takeaway for listening right now, thinking about your career? This challenges so much of the standard advice, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It fundamentally reframes the whole pursuit of career fulfillment. The core message is, stop chasing that elusive feeling called passion as if it's hiding somewhere. Instead, passion is cultivated. It grows through dedication, through getting really good at something valuable, and through the impact you start to make because you're good.
And the key is adopting that craftsman mindset instead of the passion mindset.
Exactly. The passion mindset keeps you searching, often feeling inadequate. The craftsman mindset puts you in control. It says, focus on your craft, hone your skills, build something valuable, see your work as something to be mastered.
And from that mastery.
From that mastery, the good stuff follows. Satisfaction, control, impact, and yes, often that deep feeling we call passion. It's a result, not a starting point. Alex stops the endless search and starts building mastery where they are.
Okay, so let's quickly recap those key takeaways from So Good They Can't Ignore You for everyone listening. First, don't start by chasing passion. Build skills. Skills that make you indispensable. Passion often follows mastery.
It's a byproduct.
Second, commit to deliberate practice. Get uncomfortable. Push your boundaries constantly to actually improve, not just repeat.
Active growth.
Third, accumulate that career capital, those rare and valuable skills. That's your leverage, your bargaining power.
Build your currency.
Fourth, use that capital strategically. Trade it for control, for autonomy over how, when, where you work. That's often where deep satisfaction lies.
Control is key.
Fifth, think small, act big when it comes to mission. Explore adjacent possibilities, test things out, then scale what works. Missions emerge from expertise.
Let it grow organically.
And finally, just remember, fulfillment, passion, they grow out of becoming really good at something and making an impact with it.
It all comes back to the work itself. And Newport sums it up so powerfully, I think it's worth repeating. If you want to love what you do, abandon the passion mindset and adopt the craftsman mindset.
That really says it all. A total shift in perspective. It's about agency, about building, not just finding.
Empowering, really.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Cal Newport's ideas. They really do push back against the common narrative, don't they? Hopefully, this gives you, and maybe our imagined Alex, a different way to think about shaping a fulfilling professional life. And as you go about your day, here's a final thought to chew on, something provocative. What's one rare and valuable skill, just one that you could start building today, even in a tiny way, something that could eventually lead you toward work you genuinely love and control? Maybe take a moment later to reflect on your own journey. Are you searching or are you building? We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.